Brad Holmes' comments on Wednesday certainly show that Za'Darius Smith might not be coming back to the Detroit Lions. Let's talk about it. Hi, it's Mike Payton from A to Z Sports Detroit. Today we're going to talk about Brad Holmes' comments from his presser on Wednesday morning and how they kind of show that Za'Darius Smith might not be coming back to the Detroit Lions this season. First off, as we know, the Lions have an open roster spot right now. They only have 52 players. Holmes was asked about that open roster spot, and he kind of related it to what the Lions did last year when they started the season with just 52 players. This is a spot where the Lions can have flexibility with their roster. A good example of what that means is last year, the Lions signed Chris Smith to the 53-man roster for the first game of the season and then released him, signed him back to the practice squad later that week. In week 2, they tried it with another player. In week 3, they tried it again, and so on and so forth. It just gives you that flexibility to bring up players from the practice squad, and it also allows you to do a little roster gymnastics and get around having to use all those practice squad elevations up front. You can elevate those players and then not have to waste the 2 elevations that you actually get practice squad wise from them. They're part of the roster. You send them back down. You hope you get them back. It's kind of a risky business type thing. Maybe one of those guys shows up and they just keep them there, or maybe they just continue on with their process. The other thing, and the big one, is that Holmes was asked if he and Za'Darius Smith had had any contact recently, and he said no. Lions have not been in contact with Za'Darius Smith as of late. We don't know what that means, if that means this week, if that means last week, if that means this month, but we do know that Holmes says the Lions and Smith have not been in contact. And then finally, Holmes says that this is the best roster that the Lions have had since he's been here. Dan Campbell said that on Monday. Holmes agreed with him on Wednesday. The Lions may feel as though they just have such a great roster right now that they don't need to have Za'Darius Smith. We don't know what's going to happen when it all goes down, but we do know the one good positive, the one glimmer of hope here is that Holmes said, you know me, anything's possible when it comes to bringing back Smith. So we'll see where it goes in the next coming weeks. But right now, it seems like, just based off everything Holmes is saying, Smith is not going to be back in 2025.